All right, first I'm just going to take you through a quick dynamic warm-up. These are just 4 different things you can do prior to playing golf just to loosen up and warm up. So hopefully you find it helpful. All you need is a golf club. So for the first one, you're just going to hold the club at both ends, arms overhead. You want your feet shoulder width apart, and then you're just rotating side to side, nice and slow and controlled. You want the motion to come through your hips and your upper back. You want to try to keep your core stable. So I would kind of just go back and forth about 10 times, just nice and slow and controlled, and loosen up. Next one, club's going to be down like this, one hand on the handle and one hand on the club side, and you're really just rotating up like this. You really want to push down or push up with that down hand and let that top shoulder rotate, and then come back through the other way. The hip can kind of push to the side a little bit, but mostly you're moving the upper body. And same thing, I would do about 10 to 15 going side to side. Okay, so you should just feel a nice stretch at the top, and then let it come down, nice and controlled. The next one will be just holding the club here. You don't really need the club for this one, but you can use it for a little bit of balance. You're just going to stand on the one leg and just kick front to back, stretching the hamstring in the front and the hip flexor in the back. So I would do about 10 to 15 leg swings on one side, and then do the same thing, 10 to 15 on the other side. And you're just trying to loosen up the hamstrings, loosen up the hip flexors, nice and controlled though. The last one is starting with the club down by your side, and then you're just stepping back and lifting the club overhead, stretching that back hip in the back, and then coming back forward and switching sides. And I would do 10 on both sides. I'll show you from the side. So you're really stretching this back hip flexor, and you're stretching the shoulders out as well. And same thing, I would just do 10 on each side. But you really want to make sure that your core stays stable and you're not arching your back. You're just lifting your arms overhead. Okay? So those 4 different things is what I would do for just a basic dynamic warm-up to loosen things up before you play. And then while you're playing, you want a couple things you can do, to start to get tight. You can repeat that kind of dynamic warm-up if you get tight, but you can also do these 2 stretches if you have something to sit down on. So the first one is just sitting there like this, leaning forward, stretching your low back, a couple seconds, and then come back up like that. So I would do about 10 to 20 of them. Should be really nice and controlled, really relaxed. At the bottom, you should just feel a light stretch in your low back. The other one you can do is just crossing one leg over. You want to be nice and tall. You may feel a stretch in your glute already, but then from here, you just hinge at the hips and come forward a little bit. I already feel it right there. I'll show you on the other side. So you're here, and you just hinge forward. I'd hold for about 5 to 10 seconds. Come back up. Do 3 to 4 reps, just to loosen up that glute and loosen up that hip while you're playing. A lot of times, if you're standing and walking for a long time, that back will start to tighten up, and those 2 exercises can help. So hopefully you found that helpful. I am going to put this on YouTube and send this link to you through email, so just let me know if you have any questions.